football guys. I'm here to talk some more about the Draft Dominator. We've got the phone version up here, and specifically, we're going to talk about all of the amazing detailed research that we have available on players. So, obviously, we're going to start in any case by clicking on a player, and then we've got some bunch of different options here. Now, one of the things that sets us apart at Footballguys is we have a staff of around 60 guys who are writing, inputting stuff, just so many people. It's like a machine that comes into play in June, July, and August of every year, just endlessly putting in information, projections, news, strength of schedule. And for every player, all of that information is available here. So let's just take a look at this and break it down screen by screen and show you guys exactly what we've got. So the first one here, we've got a player outlook. So every player has some tags there. Those tags are available in the players list. So if you're ever unsure about what one of those icons means, you can just click on the player there and you're going to get an explanation. So for instance here, Aaron Jones has the loudspeaker icon for some recent news. And he also has this target icon here. And that means that we project him to have gone for your next pick. So if you want Aaron Jones, this is your last chance. He's likely to be selected before your next pick. Every fantasy relevant player, we write a Footballguys view on. This is a different staffer gets assigned to every team, and they work their way through and give you the pros and cons for that player in a kind of a neutral, balanced perspective for the forthcoming year. It gives you some background on why we value that player as we do. We've also got some statistical breakdowns for your league. One thing that's definitely worth highlighting here is our gold, silver, and bronze star system. So let's just go back to the players list just for one moment here. This is a really useful way of seeing a tiered view of your best available picks right now. You'll notice we don't have any silver stars for this pick, and that's because Aaron Jones is the clear choice on the board right now. There's no player falls into the category that we would require them to be close, like a close consideration silver star. And then we've got 2 bronze stars, and the bronze stars generally mean, look, it's not the worst thing in the world if you go with this guy. This is a valid pick at this point. But when you've got 1 gold star and 2 bronze, we should be looking to pick the gold star player. Likewise, sometimes you might come in here and find you've got 5 gold stars and then 1 silver and no bronze. And in that case, really, you've got a wide choice. You can't really go wrong. You've got 5 guys there and a good 6th option. And as long as you pick one of those gold stars, it's going to be a great pick. So it's going to vary depending on how much value there is on the board when you come on the clock. Just carrying on then down this list of data and information here, we've got the expected draft position for this player. We've got a fantasy points projection. We've got an upside best case projection for them, the player's bye week, the number of games we project them to play, and a ton of other information and demographics. If you want to see the exact statistical breakdowns for each projector, we've got those here along with their performance in previous seasons, as well as how many games they played in those years. So one of the things we noticed at the top with Aaron Jones is we had some recent news, and we're gonna be able to read that here. So we've got Green Bay Packers auditioning some returners, and Aaron Jones got some reps on kickoff. So if your league is a return league, that's something you might want to consider. Strength of schedule, I've talked about this in some other videos, so we're going to calculate this based on the team strength of schedule for that position, but also some players might be suspended early on. We might project some rookies to score more towards the end of the year than the beginning, and again, that's going to be factored in too. And all those calculations, we've done a bunch of other videos showing you how those are automated and included in the rankings according to some different settings that you input, so be sure to check those out. We've got the team's depth chart there, and we've got an extended legend there as well, showing you what any icons to the right of players might mean. The bold obviously means a starter, so we can see clearly here that Aaron Jones is the starting running back and the other players that they've got on the roster there. Staff rankings. This is really just so much information just packed into one screen. So we've got a few different types of rankings. If you're specifically running a dynasty league, then you can get some different rankings for dynasty. The only note here is that these rankings are just lists that our staff members put in, which is why they're not included in the actual cheat sheet rankings that change and adapt during your draft. But the main reason we put these in is to give you some extra context as to how our staff, our wider staff, view each player. And those comments there are really key. We always make sure that we pick out a comment from a staffer who has them ranked higher than average and one who has them ranked lower than average as well. So a ton of information there. Our goal is, even if you've got 10 minutes timers on your draft, we'll still give you enough information if you want to be reading and researching for that full 10 minutes when you're choosing between one or two players. That information is going to be there in the app, ready for you on that staff page. And then notes we've covered in another video as well. If you've got any personal notes for that player, you can stick those in there. So ton of different information, and you'll notice here on the phones that all of these icons down the right hand side are listed for each player. So that gives you an extra view without having to jump straight to the player page. So for instance, we can see here Devonta Freeman is an injury risk. That may be enough just to put us off straight away, but if we did want to read more detail about that, again, we can just click on his player card and we've got the tag summary here. He's injured, he's got a groin surgery in October, expected to be ready for training camp. So that just gives us the extra context to that injury. Any suspensions are also going to be highlighted there. Bye-week clashes, which is the case right now with Chris Godwin and our existing roster. Rookies have this blue academic cap there. So just a ton of information. You can easily see it from the icons, and if you don't know what an icon means, just click through onto the player and you're going to get a full explanation.